Dish, tell me who got a flow like God.
Why they got us cutting up? Hey, I don't know what's happening right now. You know what I mean? As y'all see, we already cutting up. You know what I mean? Our cutting up usually starts before we even start taping. You know what I mean? So, I don't know what the hell's going on with S. Dot over there, but I'm sure it's I don't know what's going on with Wavy. You know what I mean? I don't know what the hell's going on, man. I just don't know.
First of all, it's all y'all. You too.
What I do?
All night.
Oh man, it's been a good one.
But no, so everybody out there who's watching us right now, if you're watching us on Hype, YouTube, if you're listening to us via podcast or on your phone or whatever, we just want to say, as always, thank you for rocking with us. We don't consider you fans. We consider you the Cutting Up family. So like I was telling you guys, we've got a very special guest in the building with us tonight. Well, not technically, but, via Zoom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's on Zoom, and he's got a really cool story, and he's got some really good information, and he's doing a lot of really good things because of his story.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, want to introduce the world. Well, the world already know, but introduce our audience to Wes Hamilton. How you doing, Wes?
And I'm great, man. Appreciate you guys for having me on the show.
Absolutely.
Yes,
man.
welcome.
No doubt, man. See, your beard on fleek.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
You on your Zeus? Go ahead.
I'm a little jealous, man. I can't grow mine out like I want for shit.
Oh nah, mine ain't doing it.
Man, it took time, man. It took time. A lot of patience.
That's right.
Where you at in the world, Wes?
Man, I'm in Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City, Missouri.
In the building.
Yeah.
How's the weather out there right now?
Honestly, it was beautiful today. It'll be raining tomorrow and snow on Sunday. So.
Oh wow!
Talking about a change. Good God.
Mental note, not moving to Missouri.
We in the middle of the map, so you get everything.
Right.
Yeah, man. So, thank you, first of all, for kicking it with the Cutting Up crew. And, one of the things is, usually we get on these interviews and, we're asking people questions and going through, different things. But in your particular case, we want to give you the floor to tell your story. You all right, man?
Yo, this nigga's over here by the choke, bro.
Choking on the choke, bro. Die on the show.
Yo, I couldn't for God. I was hoping y'all caught that. I couldn't even do it, man. But I was trying to stay
if y'all
calm.
would have heard the little moan he did,
we almost lost a co-host, right?
Yo, Wes, I don't know if you heard that joke, but that's just heavy on me hollering. God,
we do, Wes.
But we want to give you the floor and just kind of, if you could just take us through, from the beginning of your journey, who you are, your background, as far as how you got into doing the things that you're doing now, and and then tell us, what you've created from that and where you're moving forward with.
Oh yeah, and basically, give you the whole spiel, right, man?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm ready.
We need the good one too, not the one that like you rehearse for people. We need the real.
Yo,
you know what? Truthfully, I never rehearse. Man.
That's what I'm talking about. Good.
I speak my truth, so my truth is my truth.
We say that.
And, hey, I freestyle this one.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
All right, so man, for your listeners that might not know, I don't know if people are listening or watching or whatever the case may be.
Both.
So you might not see that I'm in a wheelchair, but I always start by telling people, like, I never knew myself until I didn't have the use of my legs anymore. And so to take you through that journey, I'm born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri. We're in the middle of the map. It's a stigma here. It's this dark cloud over here. You know what I mean? So mentally, for me, I put myself in a position of living a life that was built by design. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't go, and I wasn't ambitious. I wasn't seeking opportunity. I didn't have the leadership in my life. I didn't have the role models that could guide me into the direction of who I am today. So that's why I speak so, highly on me being in the position I am is what created who I am. So at the age of 24, actually 5 days after my 24th birthday, I was shot multiple times in my abdomen.
Oh, wow.
And that's what led to me getting a spinal cord injury and caused me to lose the mobility in my legs from my spinal cord, spinal T11, T12 vertebrae. Like, this situation was really just it was an altercation, man, that really shouldn't even have happened. It just played a lot of part in my actions and emotions, some miscommunication, and really just a lot of pride and ego. You know, and that's the way I can break it down without just kind of give you a long story on how things happen. When all I can also put is that the person that shot me, I never had a conversation with him. I never looked. I mean, the first time I had eyes on him was when I realized that he was shooting me the second time.
Oh, wow.
Oh, damn.
You know, so like, to think about, like, no verbal altercation, no, like, over the phone, nothing. But the communication that he had received put him in a position to do what he did. And yeah, so at the time of my injury, I mean, y'all see me right now. I mean, I'm buck. I ain't gonna lie, I'm pretty swole. You see me?
Okay, bro.
I take pride in my swollenness, man, because really, you know, at age of 24, I was overweight. I'm 5'5", like I was about 250 pounds, man. Like, I wasn't fit. I never got active. I wasn't in the gym. You know, and so when I got shot, man, I literally, like, went through all these health complications, self-esteem issues, as well as I'm trying to accept something that I couldn't accept. You know, like, I couldn't even accept myself growing up because I never had an identity. You know, like, I was seeking that identity. So then when I get put in this position, this is an identity that I wasn't trying to be defined by. You know, I didn't know how to define it myself, but I knew as a person that was living with a disability, at least what I had always visualized was not the lifestyle that I was ready for. And so, you know, you talk about a limitation, like, it went from more than physical, it was mental. Like, man, I can't do nothing no more. Like, I was walking around, I can't, you know, and so you got, you know, so.
How long was that process that before you could accept what life was now?
Man, it was about 3 years. After my first year, just trying to get back to being normal. Like, I was in the streets, man, and I didn't get shot, like, in that street. Like, I guess it wasn't a street situation. It wasn't a hood situation I got shot over. It was over a chick, you know, so that's how that played. But, you know, that me trying to get back to that lifestyle, right? Because that's all I knew. That's all I ever knew. Really put me in a position to dealing with some health complications. So, man, after my first year, I got put on bed rest. Now, think of, like, somebody going into 21, you know, 21-3, right? Like, that's how it was, 21 hours a day, bed rest for 2 years, 6 surgeries. You know, so, and on top of that, I had just got sole custody of my daughter, like, 3 months before I got shot. And she was 2. So I'm doing all this and a father, you know what I mean? And, like, so mentally for me, it was defeat. Mentally for me, I didn't have a way out. Only thing that got me out of it was my daughter. It was just the fact that, like, you know, you can sit there and have all these suicidal thoughts. You can have these why me's, you know, you can, you know, look at your reflection and not accept that, right? But then you have a child that don't see none of what you see. Right? Like, they looking for your guidance. They looking for your influence. Like, they're not looking for your defeat, your weakness. And so for me, and as a man, I didn't want to show my daughter that. So I was like, man, how can I be strong? How can I gain this strength? So, yeah, man, I just took control. It was a journey, but within those 2 years, I went to school, learned nutrition. I lost 100 pounds. Bro, by my last surgery, January 2015, I was 100 pounds lighter.
And what made you go that route? Like, you could have went and spent your time learning anything. What drew you to nutrition?
Man, because one day I asked the doctor, like, what could I do? I had some wounds that was trying to heal and they wasn't healing. And I was just kind of like, man, I was just tired of just that process. Like, I had, you know, IVs and stuff in me every day, nurses coming in and out. Man, like, bro, I ain't never lived that type of life. I wasn't trying to. You know, and so the doctor told me to add more protein in my diet. and that shit was foreign. Like I didn't know what protein. I didn't know like protein. You know, and they started giving me like drinks like Ensure, and my grandma drank that. So like for me, I couldn't drink that, and so it went back to like that mental thing of like, man, I this ain't for me. This ain't life for me, and so I wanted to get out. I was, locked up in the house so long, and I'd always been the type, to try to educate myself in the things that I needed to learn, knowing that systems was created to not really feed me the knowledge I needed. And so, so I went to school, and man, when I opened that book on nutrition, bro, I fell in love with it. All I wanted to do was learn about protein. And the first thing caught my eye was how much sugar was in my Dr. Pepper. Bro.
I don't eat grape soda now, bro.
Right, same.
Like, at all, bro, it's all water over here. And like I tell people all the time, like I could put sugar in my, tea, Kool-Aid, whatever. You know what you're putting in there. But when you bind something and then you see it in the cubes, and the cubes is stacked up, and like for me, I'm like, bro, I would never put that many cubes in my
Right.
You looking like that can is half sugar.
I know.
Right.
It don't taste like it's half sugar.
So after that, man, I just started really practicing the things that, I was learning. And I wasn't trying to go for a degree to go into, do this as a career. I was literally just trying to educate myself because the things that the people I was looking up to for information, it wasn't working. You know what I mean? Yeah. Instead, it was debilitating me. And like, I had never been like, man, I feel like if anything, I was debilitated just living in the streets with, with the mindset I had. So now, man, I'm bounded.
Yeah.
By these limitations that they keep putting on me. And like, for me, I'm trying to fight because I'm a father. So you can't tell me that I can't be healthy. You can't tell me that I should go another year on bed rest and I'm a father, bro. Like, you can't tell me that. I'm about to get up. My this is a baby right now. So it was like one of those things that really fueled me and really got me into like, and then when I lost that weight, oh, bro, I could never lose weight walking. So first of all, that's the pivot. You know what I mean? Like, that was the pivot. I go out every day and try to jog. I ain't get nowhere. I mean, I tell you, and the thing was that I was worried about how everybody else saw me and what they said about me, So like, you could be around your friends, be like, yeah, bro, I'm about to go work out. Man, you about to work out. You know what I mean? You know how the culture is, bro. And I'm like, so for me in the streets, I'm like, oh man, they think I'm gonna be weak because I'm working out, not thinking that it's about to make me stronger. So I wouldn't even get into it. Instead, I just kept choosing a lifestyle that literally the mindset is what put me in this position. So because of that, I knew I had to shift like everything that I had learned and everything that I did, and because I had lost this weight and never had the will to do it, walking, man, I could do whatever I wanted to do in life. Yeah. And that was the motivation and ambition that I took out that door. So, when they told me that.
You lost 100 pounds, and there's people out there struggling to lose 10 pounds, and they can go jogging and do all that stuff.
And my legs don't move.
Yeah, what was the key thing for you that helped you to do that in your condition?
Your laugh.
Man, honestly, it was just the nutrition, man. Like, since I was on bed rest. So I couldn't even really do nothing. Dang. I couldn't do no activity. I went to a rehab facility that was close to my house 2 days out of the week for 30 minutes. And I would use like this cardio bike they had. And I would kill it for that 30 minutes, but that would be it. Everything else was eating, man, just changing everything that I ate, and drinking nothing but water, like water. So after I lost that weight, I was skinny now. I got.
I didn't like that either, right?
I didn't care about the wheelchair no more, bro. Like, I didn't care about it. I had overcame the main thing that was probably defeating me my whole life. And that was something that, I literally could have took control of if I literally had that determination. And because I had these limitations on me, I was more determined. So for the next 2 years, man, I competed in bodybuilding and CrossFit, man, became a nation award-winning CrossFitter and bodybuilder nationwide. Dope. So like,
and CrossFit ain't no joke, bro.
So taking it from where I was brought up to the defeat to then competing and being ambitious and getting on stage and like really, man, getting abs, bro. Like I got abs now. Like I always tell people, I got abs now. I don't even think I could get. Man, I thought big boned was a real thing, bro. Like,
oh, you thought you just had big ass bones?
Bro, you gotta accept. One day you just gotta accept.
Yeah, your brain said.
Do nothing about it.
Right. It's like, nah, brother, you just fat.
Nah, yeah.
So
eventually those excuses didn't make sense no more.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, yeah, man. And then with that transition, with me having the ability, to change my life, mentally, physically, and everything around me, I wanted to just focus on the people that I believed that needed it more, and that was, the disabled community. Like, I felt like when I jumped into this, there was nobody that represented me for me to teach me how to overcome not only this limitation, but the things that I had been facing my whole life, because this wasn't the only thing that was going to stop me. Right. Like it was other things that was weighing me down once I got shot. Like a lot of people, you go in the doctor, man, you like, man, I got shot. And they like, shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I switched my story up after a while because people already assumed that I was the person that got shot. And like when my mindset wasn't where it needed to be, you know what I mean? Like, man, that was like defeating. Like, man, like I already knew. Like you a black man, you got shot. That's how you. So one day I told somebody I got into a car accident and he felt all bad and shit. I'm like, bro, you didn't care when you told me I got shot.
Dang.
Wow. So I needed to be that representation I couldn't see, bro. You know what I mean? Like literally that was it. Like I didn't have a limitation anymore. Like I believe like I was probably disabled mentally before I ever became physically.
That's
you know what I mean? So I overcame all this. Like now, when I see my life now, like, my main affirmation was the man that tried to take my life gave me life. Like, bro, like at least today in my elevation, in my transition, man, bro, literally I'm wearing my wings. Yeah. Like I know what I was spared for. Like I'm living my mission. I started an organization called the Disabled But Not Really Foundation. And so, our goal with that, man, or my mission, because I'm very invested in my organization, is to really instill a limitless mindset for those that always been defeated mentally, physically, or emotionally. You know what I mean? Whatever limitation, I don't care if you got one arm, that don't mean you ain't capable.
Right.
Yeah.
I know so many people in this world that are doing amazing things with less than me. And so for me to see that and see it in the world, how I need to create something for more people to understand that different is nothing wrong with it, and that we can embrace it in a way. We all different. We're still fighting because we're different. And nobody's embraced the fact that we are different so that we can start spreading this world with integrity and empathy. So like for me, my goal, I've lived a life of everything, like everything I've been through has been struggle. To only have the heart and go to like help other people see their strength inside, because it might have took me through that whole transition to have the strength I have today, right? But now I can just be that representation, because if I had that leadership when I was younger, I might not have went the direction I went in. Like if I had that representation when I got injured, I went through all those years of defeat, like instead, why did I get blessed to go through all that struggle? Because somebody needed to experience it so they can empathize it. Yeah. See, you know what I mean? Like the world, my story needed to be shared. And because of that, because of that strength, a lot of people know me from Netflix. They know me from Queer Eye. I was on season 4, episode 2 of Netflix's Queer Eye. Okay. And they came in and they remodeled my house. That house behind me.
It's fresh.
Good job.
But no, man, they did a lot of things. And like, I'm a firm believer, especially where I come from. If I have this heart to be that representation, I'm gonna be fearless and I'm gonna do whatever, to change the narrative. And so I had the opportunity to face the man that shot me on that show. You know what I mean? And it was very organic. It was very authentic. It was so authentic that, man, me and him probably both thought they was going to get shot up because don't nobody care about cameras.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
How was that experience?
Yeah, what was that like, bruh?
The journey that I just explained, right? Like the fulfillment that I had leading up to that day had already prepared me. I went years speaking, he tried to take my life, but he gave me life. I already knew what I was preparing myself for, just didn't know the moment.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I had a friend ask me one day, like, Wes, you positive? Like, mind you, I was negative my whole life. Like, I have pictures where I was just throwing a middle finger. You could see darkness in my eyes. Now I smile, you see all that love, everything, right? I had a friend that told me, like, man, you positive. I know you though. What you gonna do when you see that man that shot you? Like, he put you in this position. And like, when I got that question, I really had to, think about it. And that's when I realized, like, man, I had been way more blessed than what I had been cursed.
Yeah.
Or what people would see it as a curse, right? Like, this is a blessing to me. So why would I feel any resent for what he did? And you know what I mean? Like, of course, a lot of people are like, man, shoot, I get shot today, man. I don't think I'm gonna forget that person. But, it's all about how you react to your situation after. My life got better. Now, if I was still in bed, still going through all them health complications, man, I'm defeated. Yeah, I hate everybody.
Yeah.
But you think if I'm spreading love and speaking positivity, I'm going to be mad when I see you? Nah, man, we all do wrong. And I know I played a major part in that day.
Yeah.
So, so leading up to that moment, being on that show did a lot for me. I ain't never been around 5 gay guys, so
Right.
Legit. I give it to you. Right. I give it to you.
It was different. And I always, the biggest message is that I couldn't see him as gay as much as I could see him as free. They had the ability to be vulnerable enough to show the world who they were and wasn't hiding it. And they were giving me the ability to do the same. Like, being in a wheelchair really made me realize I couldn't judge nobody.
Right.
Like, I can't judge nobody for how you live or not, because I'm literally fighting for people not to even stare at me. Right? Like,
nah.
It's different now, like, shoot. So, so all of those things really spoke to me of like just being prepared. And when I got a chance to speak to him, and, I'm sure y'all probably check out the clip and stuff, but just speaking to him and listening to his why, the perspective, I would have did the same thing.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, like I lived that life. It wasn't, if you could watch it, I like smirked when he told me. I'm like, damn, that's it. Like, man, I thought you had a vendetta with me. I get it. If somebody called me and like, bro, come have my back, and I think you got a gun, I'm gonna make sure my people safe.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if you moving different,
I feel you.
It is what it is.
Right.
and with all of that animosity at that situation, it was understandable. But the growth that I had, I didn't even, the person that was sitting there moderating and talking to us asked that I want an apology. And I said, nah, man, I just want to tell you thank you.
What was his disposition toward you once he saw, because the last time he saw you before you had your wings and became the person you are now.
Yeah. So
what was his reaction seeing you in a wheelchair yet so much more improved?
I'm in Kansas City, and I feel like Kansas City pretty small, and I'm this black dude in a wheelchair doing amazing stuff that came from the hood in the city. Man, everybody know me. Yeah. Everybody know what I'm doing. So I'm pretty sure he had that visual. I can't say that he didn't. You know what I mean? It's too small. Like, I knew who he was the moment I woke up, right? Yeah. So, like, same thing. And so I would just say that he didn't, it's all about ego at first. Yeah. I think we both came in with ego. So he wasn't going to show like, damn, like, that's you. But two, man, I'm coming in, rolling in, smiling, clean. By this time, like, I had braids. So I had cut my hair the day that I met him. And I had grew my hair since the day I got shot.
Oh,
So, you know, so I was all fresh cut, bro. I had a nice fit on. They had tailored me up. So I rolled in feeling all new money. But here's the thing, though, because a lot of people don't, you know, understand. It's all about adversity, man. And, you know, when you're doing something powerful like that, and I even say it on the show, you know, like we're doing something that Black men don't do. We're showing the world something that they don't want us to show them. You know, we're not only forgiving each other, we're uplifting each other. I'm literally taking accountability of my situation and not putting the blame on you. And I want you to take accountability for your stance, but you did your time. He did do time, you know, so, and so he did his time and he got out, you know. Hey, I went through a struggle for my shit. So,
it's like y'all both did y'all time and overcame.
But, you know, when it comes to adversity, man, adversity matters. I lost my cousin that morning and I could not grieve because we was filming all day.
Oh, wow.
And I had cut my hair and I had to meet that man. And so 30 minutes prior, I didn't want to do it. You know, like I was just like, man, by this time they had gave me an open window to just have some space. And I was calling grandma. I was calling everybody. I'm over there. I'm like, man, this is like one of my close cousins, man, you know, and so he just died of health complications, you know, but it was hard. You know, you get your daddy calling you at 6 a.m.
Yeah, man.
Damn, man, you see I'm filming. You know, like I'm on Netflix right now, man. But to have that strength, like nothing's going to put in front of you for greatness or for anything, bro, without you being tested. And literally, if you're about to do something that it's about to shift the world, that is going to change the narrative, that is going to change the perspective on how people see us, why not be tested? I was tested the moment I got shot. You know what I mean? Whatever my purpose and plan in the world was, it was, hey, Wes, you ain't paying attention, but maybe I can bump your head hard enough so you can understand it. You know, like that's how I see it. You know, like I see that I'm living my purpose now. When I look at my life and my experiences and get to talk to kids in juvenile detention centers and, you know, talk to kids in rehab facilities and have a whole different dialogue, I understand the journey that I went through. You know what I mean? Like I understand what position I was placed for. We don't have a lot of leaders in my community. You know what I mean? And we're still fighting to make sure that we have longevity for the life of the leaders that we have. And so I'm just literally trying to make sure that I leave my print by being that change that I couldn't see, right? Like I couldn't see it, so I created it. And I'm just putting my effort in and putting my print in, not only in my city, but to everybody. You know, if I can face the man that shot me and tell him thank you because I see my life better, then maybe when we face things and we see the defeat, maybe it is up to us to now change it and not wait on somebody else, especially when it's our life.
Exactly.
Like I didn't wait on somebody to hand it to me. I had to literally say, man, I gotta do it. And so my message even to anybody is just, bro, do it. It's your life. Like, what you waiting on?
Yeah, and something very important that you said, like in telling your story about the journey to, you know, once you got shot and then the healing process and then the complications and then deciding to take up nutrition and study and learn. And there's still a lot of work in there. So we all have a fate, and there's things we're destined and meant to do. But there is no, even in your case, you know, it happened to be a physical change to your body, but you still had to put in the work.
It ain't gonna be free.
Yeah, once you've been put on your path, you still had to do the work to get to where you are, you know, where you're supposed to go. So I think that's a very deep thing, and I think you had something in mind and stuff?
He led right into it.
Oh,
like
okay.
Yeah, my brain is like going right now because he led right into the transition of how I elevated him. That's what I was going to ask him about.
Yeah. You know, when you got me, listen, I get on stage and speak now, so you tell me go with the flow. I'm good.
That's good.
Oh, yeah.
That's good because you're dropping a lot of jewels.
No, it's important for people to hear.
You teaching us how to win, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, and listen, man, I wake up at 4 a.m. every day, you know, so like you said, that work, man, bro, I read 3 hours a day. You know what I mean? I didn't even read growing up. I didn't read till I got injured, bro. Like now, you can't tell me nothing. I'm gonna pick up a book
all day long,
right?
All day long, bro. Like it's an addict.
Like seriously, man, I work out every day, you know, like, and I do it at my own, you know, at my own pace, you know, like I wake up to just better myself. You know, I'm still raising my daughter. She's 11 now. You know, like I go out, I'm ambitious. Like I teach people. Yeah, man. But literally that routine of waking up at 4 a.m., you know, and being that person that want to stay up 17 hours and use every hour of my day to bring value. Like every hour has to bring value. I will not sit around like and wait, bro. Like I cannot wait. You know, it's like I waited for 24 years of my life and I got shot and I thought I was dead. Yeah. You think I'm gonna wait anymore? Like a lot of people don't understand how quick life can just be taken from you. You know, no matter how much we see, we still take it for granted. But like for me, nah. Every day I'm like, yep, gotta get it. Leave that impact today. I don't know.
Begging for it back, baby.
Like literally, like man, I'm not. You know, I'm learning to live the rest of my life, but I'm gonna create my legacy and leave my impact today. Fact. You know, like literally, like, and that's it because. Man, I watched my life flash in front of me and it wasn't nothing that I could smile about. You know, like now, man, dude, I'll be jumping out of planes and stuff, man. I don't care, man. Hey, man, I'm fearless now, but it's that ambition, you know what I mean? Because, man, like I said, I got my wings, man. So I'm living that plan, you know, and I think, and I'm building a foundation that can create a legacy.
And something I'm also curious about is, because there's always two sides to everything. Right. And so I just want your take on where do you envision your life would have been had you never got shot? Where do you think today you would be, what you'd be doing, how you'd be looking?
Oh, man. Bro.
I love the fact that he left off that one.
Bro, I got The World Is Yours on my arm. I don't know if y'all know where that came from. But bro, I was like motivated by Scarface, paid in full, shot, bro. It was going down, bro. Like I was.
We know where it came from. That's what everybody thinking. We like.
Everybody was like, "Yo, we got that same."
Do we know where it came from?
Hey, honestly, I'd probably be dead or in jail right now, man. Like I was living for that fate. Like that was it. You know what I mean? Like I never seen no other route. Yeah. Not coming from where I came from. You know, of course everybody lived differently. Like, but man, it was never, you know, like my uncles, my cousins, you know, like everyone's gone, but they wasn't like successful in nothing. They died in the streets or they went to prison. Yeah. You know, so that was something that I had accepted. And so if this didn't happen to me, man, I would still be in the streets. I wouldn't have seen the strength like that was coming from, like I don't think I would have been able to find the strength that I had inside. Like I had to be defeated. You know, I had to be confined to four walls to see something because literally I had already accepted my fate and I was living it every day. Like now I'm like, you know, creating something new every day. Back then, man, I was just waking up, living the same design life.
So you were like, you were at that time living to die. Yeah. And it took you to almost die to start living. That's crazy.
Exactly.
I like it. Yeah. Yo, bro, I gotta ask you. I know, like, you said, like, now you got to a point you swole. I know that I come from a background of being through something rough too. Like, what is it like setting goals now? Do you have new goals that you've set it to what you want to do? What's the future look like? If you could achieve everything.
Man, honestly, I don't let none of my accomplishments stop me from keep making more. You know, so like for me, I always set more goals because I feel like there are more doors that can be open. You know, and so like when it comes to like fitness and stuff like that, like I like to compete, you know, in any way, you know, like whether it's CrossFit or bodybuilding. So right now, like, and I split my years up. Like I still got years, man. Like I was thinking about, I was young gun competing around my, you know, my late 20s, and a lot of these sports are new, you know what I mean, especially for people with disabilities. So you get a lot of old guns in there. So I'm like, yeah, I still got time. You know, so like, even with my accomplishments now, man, I'm trying to get on stage and stuff like that. So I just be ambitious that way. You know, like I love to be active and fit, you know, and I still have my daily defeats, man. You know, I have a spinal cord injury, and underlining with that, it comes with chronic nerve pain. You know, I was shot. So, you know, my spinal cord was severed. So that comes with complications, you know. So it's not like I roll around as, you know, every day perfect. You know, so like my goals is just, man, making sure that I can literally have the strength to just get up every day, hop in my car, leave my impact, be that representation, you know. So and you know, being in the gym and being fit is just one of those things of making sure that I don't allow my body to deteriorate, you know, just from my injury and the other things that are causing. Like I use my pain as my strength. So if I'm hurting, bro, I'm in the gym.
It's time to go.
You know, so like so I made my garage into a gym. Dope. So literally that's where I train out of. That's where I train with my organization since with COVID. So I do personal training out of there. And yeah, man, I hit the gym every day. It's the best, like, you know, it's dope. You know, man.
So tell us a little more about your organization as far as what is your organization besides the general, you know, talking to kids and speaking to people. What is your organization doing, and you know what's the direction? What do you hope to see happen with the organization?
Yeah, man. You know, when you think about, you know, nonprofit organizations and people serving, and then you think about like mine, you hear disabled but not really. You think of just people with physical disabilities, and it's not that. You know, like we do a lot of homeless outreach. It's just I push a lot of nutrition. Like nutrition is, you know, it's key to a healthier life, and it can change anybody's life, you know, especially people that are living homeless. So we do homeless initiatives that go out and like pass out water and healthy snacks. You know, they get everything else from everybody else. So if you can give them the things that can really give them energy, you know, maybe it can help them change their mindset. Give them a bottle of water instead of soda. Of course, you know, I'm not for none of that. Right. So we also do like, you know, inner city outreach. Of course, like I told you, I was disabled mentally before I ever became physically. So there's a lot of kids that have that mindset that I had growing up. You know, so I make sure that we be that representation, and I love like being able to define stereotypes still with all these tattoos, beard, you know what I mean? Like I love it, and then be able to for them to see the things that I'm doing and hear the story that I tell. So I don't just work with people with disabilities, but I make sure I go because, man, I represent, you know, and so if I'm that representation, I want to be able to help everybody through this organization. Disabled but not really is a limitation. You have it on your cell phone when you put your password in wrong. I do it all the time.
What do you feel are some of like the most common misconceptions that society has about someone who is disabled?
I mean, you know, the biggest thing is that we need help. You know, I know that the limitations. I think the limitations, the visual limitations, society sees that as debilitating, as a need. But I also would want to add that, you know, I thought it was an issue once I got injured, right? Like because of how I saw or how it was viewed to me. I think society just portrays different as an issue or a problem. I think that's the biggest thing. It doesn't even matter what the disability is. I mean, hell, you know, I'm buff and roll around and, you know, and clean cut, whatever. And people still look at me, still ask me, do I need help, whatever, you know, it's just what they see, you know, it's the perception, what has always been portrayed to society when it comes to people with disabilities. It's the same when you think about the Black culture and the lack of representation. How many people with disabilities do you see doing things that isn't debilitating? Right. You know, or is it a lot of times that we run into those with disabilities at hospitals or at grocery stores or something where they need aid or need help? So our perception and the way we see it is that way, you know. And so that I think it's just all about perception, and just society has been portrayed a certain way when it comes to people with disabilities. And I think that is where I'm trying to change that narrative and other people. But
I agree with that because I grew up, my brother has cerebral palsy. So I grew up with a disabled person, you know, all my life. And, you know, it's crazy because the way my mother raised him, you know, with of course all of us, but the way she raised him was not to debilitate him. But we had chores. He had chores too.
He had to do it too.
You know, he had. You know, that's
Right.
Rob is my cousin.
Yeah.
So you know, he was around. You know, us all the time.
Yeah.
You know, my brother Juan would hang out with us, do stuff with us. We're grown up kids.
Pretty much everything.
He
we
only
did,
has use of one arm, but he was still. We had fights like siblings. You know, now because he only had one arm. His arm was developed twice as fast as ours were.
Crazy.
So he could grab you.
and not let
as a
you
kid,
go.
he had a man arm, so you couldn't really get out of his grip. So that's how he would combat us.
Wave space.
But he didn't like to be, people to make a fuss over, when he needs to do, when he's trying to do something. Because in our household, we didn't allow him to be like that. You know what I mean? He did stuff we did. He moved around how he could move around. You know what I mean? He had stuff he wanted to do. He took care of himself. You know what I mean? And he's still the same way now. He shaves his beard and his hair and all. He handles it. If you
goes to school,
like, you want me to do that? He'd be like, no.
Yep.
So
I got it.
So no, I definitely get that. And being disabled doesn't mean you can't do anything.
Absolutely.
And it's a bad misconception to have, and it's intrusive sometimes. When people from the outside come and try to tell, oh no, let me do that for you, let me do this, and then the person ain't even asking for help.
Yeah, and I think that at least the people that I'm around all the time, I tell them to use their voice, speak up when they need help, speak up when they don't. But I would just, when you think about, of course, I could go into the science, all the stuff I've learned, but everything in the world is equipped for people that are non-disabled. I'm an entrepreneur. I can't tell you how many networking meetings I wasn't able to get into. Wow. You know what I mean? Like, I can't, it's like when you look at systems and the way the world is, working, and it's not built for us.
Yeah.
It's a lot of defeat. So when society sees that, well, that's because it's equipped that way. Do you see how it looks for me to sit at a door because it got steps, but it's a normal department store or brick and mortar store, they got steps, but everybody looking at me like I got a problem. I'm looking like I'm just trying to spend my money.
Yeah.
Right.
You see? But because of the lack of accessibility has put that limitation for now people to see me like I'm not welcome here.
Wow.
Or I need more assistance to be here. And I'm not getting picked up by nobody.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now.
Right.
I got one person, my best friend, and that's it. I'm not putting my hands in nobody else's life. Like, no, bro. You can't tell. My bad ain't gonna work with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is my body. You gonna drop. Like, you can't tell me my bad.
Yeah.
Right.
So when you look at, so we don't see people with disabilities to see them active, see them doing a lot of things, because there are things that are created, that lack design that speaks to us, in the usage of, rather it's mobility, devices, wheelchairs, scooters, crutches. Like, even people that have prosthetic legs might not want to walk up 1,000 stairs, even though they have the opportunity to.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like, and so when you think about the designs of structures, they're so debilitating in themselves. That so when people see it, like, oh, you got to go around to this ramp. No, I just want to go in the front door if it's a low level grade building, right? Like, you going in the door, I want to go in the door. I want to hold the door for you without being on the incline hill, instead I'm swinging around. So yeah, that would just be the way. There's a lot of things that create the mindsets that, people have on their viewpoint of people with disabilities. And it's not just physical, it's the structures around us that create those limitations.
Yeah, well, you gave us a lot of great information.
Yeah,
Were you about to say something?
Go ahead. I was just gonna.
Oh, okay. You gave us a lot of great information. Your story is phenomenal, and I'm glad that you've done what the work you needed to do to get to the point you're at, so that you can then share it. Because I guarantee you, there's going to be somebody sitting watching this, and they might be going through, the midpoint of where you were in your recovery, and need that extra, like, okay, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and see that example. So,
I do have to ask one question. How can we help? Like, how can we help with what you're trying to do with your community and stuff like that?
Oh man, I always just tell people, this is me, this is the humble me, this is, coming from where, but, follow Disabled But Not Really. It's how it sounds, disabledbutnotreally.org or social media. You want to look up me, it's IamWesleyHamilton.com. I like people to go look at the story, look at the work that we're doing. Do your research, see if this is an organization, something that really is dear to your heart that you want to be, not only invested in, but emotionally tied into.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a firm believer that, if you want to help with my mission, hey, you got to believe in it. So go and check it out, because I work on this. I do this every day. I'm living and breathing this. So I want people to go and see the change that we're trying to make, and then see how you can play a part. And it doesn't have to be monetary. It could be your voice. It could be you sharing a post. It could be whatever. Like, you just blessing me right now, just asking that question. It's giving me the ability to push it out. So Disabled But Not Really, that's all it is.
Dope. Well, that's actually what I was leading to was, where can people contact the organization? Where can they, follow you on social media? And you just gave that to us. So we're not going to hold you up any longer.
Thank you.
I
Man,
can't wait for
pleasure.
this episode to come out, because it's, it's a hell of a story,
dope.
man. Glad you, made it through and did what you needed to do to come out onto the other side, man. And look how you blessing people.
Keep going, bro.
You know what I mean? So
Y'all
thank
got
you
a
for
plan
cutting
in
up
life.
with us, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Hey,
does.
you know what? Hey, literally.
Right now.
No.
So, we'll stay. Anything you have coming up, anything major you want to help get the word out, the Cutting Up crew will make sure we'll also post from our website and our social media as well, because we definitely want to show support where we can show support. So, thank you for giving us some time, brother. Thank you for giving us time. We got to check back in
Thanks
with
for
you,
being
in a
here.
little while
All right, man.
too. You
Hey,
know what I'm
for sure,
saying?
man. It's always growth. Every day is a new day to create more. You know what I mean?
Most
that's what
definitely.
I'm
Let's
about.
go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's
All right,
go.
man.
I'm proud of
man.
you.
Yeah.
Man, it was good to have Wes.
Oh,
On the show.
Yes.
Learn a
Bruh.
lot. Learned about his story and some of the incredible things he's doing with his organization. So, and you folks, you heard it here, you saw it here, and if like Wes said, if that's your thing and you really is something that tugs on your heartstrings, then make sure you show up and support how you can, and check out the
Oh, yeah,
website and
definitely gotta
everything
check
else
it
like
out.
that. You know what I mean? So we really appreciate Wes being on here, and Wavy Jones over here is
trying not
in
to
another
laugh.
world.
No way.
You know what I
So
mean?
funny.
We gonna
You
get you
know?
some rest, man. We gonna get you some
Yeah,
rest.
he's giving me, like, he's looking at me right now like, I know you the one that did it.
I know.
I know it was you. I
I
know.
seen that at your house.
Andre! I'm just waiting for an Andre to come out of it. You know what I mean?
Yes, man.
He's giving me that look
God
like,
dang.
you don't think I know, but I know
But
you
I
the
be
one.
seeing, I be knowing.
You the one. But
I be seeing
yeah,
stuff.
So man, it's good to go. So I'm not even gonna crack no jokes and nothing like that. You know what I mean? S. Dot. I'm sparing her. You know what I'm saying? I'm sparing her. Wavy looks high, but he's not. He don't even smoke weed. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I made sure that we talked about that just so when people watch this, they can look and be like, "Oh, he's tired." Yeah, no, he's tired.
Yeah,
He's been through a lot, y'all. Don't worry.
Yeah. All that. But
He's like,
but-
"You're right."
I
What
tried
he
for
said.
you, G. I tried for you. I got you, guys.
Wavy took some NyQuil before we got going. He's doing an experiment. An experiment to
Hanging
fight,
on by a thread.
sleep deprivation
Oh, my
while,
God.
But, per usual, you know what I mean? I want to say thank you, to Wes being on the show,
Yes.
to everybody
Indeed.
who's watching,
Absolutely.
everyone who's listening on podcasts, watching us on your tubes, you know what I mean? And, same old same. And in true fashion, this is one of them kind of episodes. I really want to kind of hear what S. Dot has to say on the way out. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So,
thank
yeah.
you.
roll that beautiful bean footage.
So,
Bruh, here come the bean footage. There you go, guys.
Spit the beans.
no, listen, I'm so inspired by Wes and his story. I think it was so powerful. So the message I want to leave everybody with tonight is to piggyback off of what he said. Our greatest enemy is within. It's not any circumstance we can ever be in. It's not any position in life we can ever be in. We have the power to unlock our full potential, no matter what odds are against you, no matter how you've grown up, no matter if you've never had a leader in your life, you are your own leader. So just unlock yourself, believe in yourself. You can do anything in this world. If you can see it, you can believe it, you can manifest it. So let this, and I hope that you watched it. I hope that you got the jewels that was dropped, because there was a lot. You better stop. I felt you. You see how I felt you, right? So I'm like, you better.
Nah, because everybody's looking at you like this now. Like,
no, but seriously, you are your greatest accomplishment. So just make it happen. Do what you got to do. Soul love.
So yeah.
From the soul.
Yeah, from the soul. Loving from the soul. And the soul loving.
it's getting good.
That's all, folks. We can cut it here.
So when they cut it before I say something.
Yeah, this is getting good.
Love y'all. We out of here. Why they got us cutting up?
Why they got us cutting up? Woo. Why they got us cutting up? Woo.